I want to share something with you that changed my life for the better and I think could change your life for the better. And this was one of those lessons that happened or happens when you hit rock bottom. And for me, that was losing my home, losing my retirement, but worst of all, losing my family. But maybe I'll get them back at some stage. And I asked myself, why is it I always have to hit rock bottom before I, I realised something that is really important to me and I think to everyone. See, when I lost everything, I became quite afraid. I'm, I'm not as brave probably as men are supposed to be, but I was afraid I'd have to work till I dropped or my back gave out. I was afraid of dying alone, but I was afraid of never seeing my family again. I'm still, that fear's still there. And a new fear dawned on me. I was afraid of wasting whatever time I had left, of not really living. And that's how I ended up in the Australian outback, 60 feet underground, down an opal mine, trying to be an opal miner. You may think nurse to opal miner. Am I insane? Am I desperate? Midlife crisis? Am I a genius? Or maybe a bit of all of those. But that's how I ended up underground, trying to make that transition from a nurse of 30 years to trying to take control of my life and do something that I wanted to do. I wanted to try, wanted to challenge myself. And I think most of us, as we age and our body starts to fall apart and we feel age catching up with us, that we realise there's actually not a lot we do control. And it was when I was underground and my torch ran out and I was left in utter blackness as I fumbled for my backup torch. I wasn't so much afraid, it just dawned on me. I was in an alien environment and a memory surfaced, and I don't know why this surfaced. Maybe it was meant to happen, but I suddenly remembered the story of a girl captured by the Gestapo who was questioned by the officer, and he said to her, "Why aren't you afraid? I control whether you live or die. You should be shaking in your boots." And she said words to the effect, "Well, you control whether I live or die, but I control how I respond, or I control how I choose to accept my fate." And I heard the story years ago. I think it was a Viktor Frankl story, and I was reading Man's Search for Meaning. And it made me realize the only thing we ever truly have complete control of is the attitude we take to life, especially when it comes to something unavoidable. Now, I've had my fair share of tears and sadness and self-pity this year, and it's taken time to get through that, and sometimes that's what you need is time. But as I've come up out of this darkness, I still have that fear of wasting whatever time I have left, but I've managed to get over that by choosing to change my attitude. Now at the moment I've got a new job. I'm working in the city as a nurse again, and that's because it's too hot to mine. I don't want to ruin my generator running it at 45 degree plus heat. But as I go to hospital, this is the happiest I've been in a job for many years. And the reason it is I'm now coming to realize that I'm choosing to take a positive attitude to work, and I'm choosing to look at what I do have instead of what I don't have. And I have a truck, I have a job, I have no debt, and I have a mind to go chase opal when it starts to cool down in March. And as for not wasting my life, I've noticed another challenge, or change I should say. And for the first time in many years, I'm actually happy going to work as a nurse. I don't plan on, continuing to be a nurse forever, but I feel like I'm not wasting my life, because when I go to work, I'm choosing to see it as an opportunity, because nursing is about people and it's about relationship, and interacting with people is all I've known. And so when I go to work, I go there with the attitude, I'm going to make a difference to this person. I mean, we can't change the world, but, and this isn't my line, but we can make a world of difference to the person in front of us. So that's that little perspective has made me realize what's important in life. That's others. That's helping others. So to sum up what I'm trying to say, I rambled there a bit, but here's the message. 1, we always have a choice, even if it's the something unavoidable, such as pain and suffering. Number 2 is, I think purpose is not always found. I think it's chosen. I have chosen to be even nicer to people than, I was always pretty nice, but even in the most challenging circumstances, maybe if someone's not nice, it's choosing to be nice despite their unpleasantness. That's what I'm choosing to do. And I've got another point here which I've forgotten, so I'm going to read this. Oh, this is another one. Pain is inevitable. We shouldn't encourage it, but it doesn't need to be wasted, and we really can learn something from it. So that's it from me for now. I hope you enjoyed.